The question, like, what was the point of the rematch? Jean Pascal lost again to Sergey Kovalev. Freddie Roach threw the towel in between rounds 7 and 8. Jean Pascal took a more sustained beating than he did in the first fight. And many fans are wondering and asking the question of, well, who's Sergey Kovalev going to fight next? He's supposed to be returning in June or around that time in Russia. And you're thinking, who's going to go over to Russia to fight him that fans will want to see? Now, when it comes to Adonis Stevenson, we're going to get to that. But right now, Jean Pascal, in my opinion, you know, he's a solid 175-pound light heavyweight fighter. But in my opinion, he's done. I don't know where he goes from here. He's a big draw up there in Canada. I don't know if maybe he moves up the cruiserweight, but at 175 pounds, I don't see him getting a title shot against against Adonis Stevenson. You know, and now that Sergey Kovalev has 3 of the 4 major belts, I don't see what title path can Jean Pascal take. Also, you know, another question is, can a Jean Pascal beat a Fanfara? You know, History Controversy. This is History Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. See, there's a lot of politics involved in why Sergey Kovalev, the WBO, WBA, and IBF 175-pound champion, can't unify with Adonis Stevenson, who's the WBC. Now, it's very rare in history where we've had an undisputed champion. That's one champion that has all the belts in a division. Right now, there's only a few fighters that's trying to accomplish that goal. One of them being Gennady Golovkin, who has the WBA and the WBC, and he's been after... the WBA and the IBF, he's been after Canelo's WBC and been after Billy Joe Saunders' WBO. Before, Vladimir Klitschko had the WBA, WBO, IBF, and he was after Deontay Wilder's WBC, which was his brother's belt. So basically, at one point in time, the Klitschkos together were undisputed champion of the world. So to see that a fight like this is so hard to make, where we can actually have, you know, a bit of history, it's tiresome, you know, and I already know who I blame for it not happening. But at the same time, Sergey Kovalev is signed to HBO. If Kovalev versus Stevenson was to happen, it would have to happen on HBO. Adonis Stevenson won't come over to HBO, where I feel he will make more money, by the way, to fight Sergey Kovalev. But what he did at the end of the fight makes it even more confusing, because these fighters, they know how the political situation, just like when Erislandy Lara keeps calling out Golovkin, and people say, well, Erislandy Lara don't have a Showtime contract. None of the fighters have contracts to a network, but that the way it is right now is that they fight on PBC or Showtime. They don't have a contract with Showtime, but they fight on PBC Showtime. Let's listen to what Sergey Kovalev has to say. It burns me up when people say shit like, well, Adonis Stevenson is not signed to Showtime. He can fight on HBO. It's Sergey Kovalev. Come on, man.
Congratulations, Sergey Kovalev, on another devastating knockout win. And I say this to you after every one of your fights nowadays. You like rematches?
No, I don't like rematch, but this was a personal fight because Pascal is a special person.
How is he a special person?
I mean that he's not polite with anybody around him and don't respect fighters, and everybody don't respect. Believe me, until I'm in Montreal, everybody said me like kick his ass.
It did seem to us that you made good on your promise before the fight to punish him during the fight for some of the things he said. You would have him cornered and then you would let him out of the corner to extend the fight. Is that in fact what you were doing? Were you punishing him intentionally and extending the fight?
Yes, I would fight more rounds and make him more pain. Punish him more. He stopped the... Oh. Stop fight before the 8th round. He lost the bet, 50,000.
So even now, after that beating, you still have a bad feeling about your opponent?
Yes, I don't respect him at all. And never. till he not excuse from me.
When you say things like that, like you punished him intentionally, do you think that endears you to boxing fans? Do you think it turns some fans off? How do you think the public receives that?
I punished not good person, and everybody understand who is who. And that's it. Not any comments.
Andre Ward spoke to us tonight, said that a fight with you is not if, but when. What are your thoughts about fighting Andre Ward, either at the end of this year or soon?
Yeah, very happy if this fight will happen, and just take your time.
In the meantime, they keep lining up opponents for you, and you keep knocking them out. Between now and Andre Ward, is there anyone you're interested in getting in the ring with?
Sure, I want to unify all 4 titles. I would like to fight Adonis Chickenson.
Adonis Chickenson, who is also here ringside.
It's a duck.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Jean Pascal just, oh, hey, let's see. I wish I could show it. So, Adonis Stevenson gets in the ring.
All right, Adonis Stevenson, the lineal champion, is in the ring, ostensibly trying to get at Sergey Kovalev, the consensus light heavyweight champion of the world. Jean Pascal entered the ring moments ago to say something, to congratulate Sergey.
Nothing got solved.
John, is there something you'd like to say?
Hey, I just want to say thank you to all my fans who came out to support.
Nothing got solved.
Thank you very much. I love you.
What was the point?
Tonight is a great champion, and I will be back. Don't worry, guys. I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean.
So you get Adonis Stevenson that gets in the ring, right?
All right, thanks very much, Max Kellerman. Now
he hasn't had an HBO, spotlight in a while now, and all he says is, "I'm the real champion." Starts trying to charge Sergey Kovalev, but then when y'all met in Montreal, what was that, like a couple of months ago? Y'all was all cool, so of course it was all a show. But the thing is, Adonis Stevenson, as I was saying earlier, he knows the fight can't happen unless he comes over to HBO. And it's a shame because people are saying, well, why won't Sergey Kovalev go over to Showtime or go over to PBC? Listen, I'm sick of all the politics and I'm sick of all the bullshit. I just want the fight to happen. Now, I'm starting to lean towards the fact that why did Sergey Kovalev, when they had a chance, right? They had a chance. The WBC decided to do something that they didn't do before, and they made Sergey Kovalev the mandatory for Adonis Stevenson. All they had to do was win the purse bid. They dropped out of the purse bid. So therefore, you're saying as a promoter, you don't have enough money, to match Al Heyman's money for the fight. It would have been a big money fight. It would have been on PBC. It would have been on Showtime. So, it's a confusing situation. And right now, I'm at a point in time where I don't want to see fighters sign with networks. I don't want fighters signing with networks because what does that do? That eliminates matchups. Because if you have a fighter that's fighting, oh, well, I'm signed with Showtime, but I'm signed with HBO. It's like you have to force networks, rival companies to come together that put forward time, and your career is just, it pisses me off. And now that we know that the fight's not going to happen in 2016, it's just like, well, what's the, see, Sergey Kovalev's path is already set. They're saying he's going to fight in June or July. I'm thinking he should fight Jürgen Breimer to get that other WBA title. Therefore, he'll be the only WBA guy in a division. And then, of course, at the end of the year sometime, he has to fight Andre Ward. So they were saying they wanted Adonis Stevenson in June, but they couldn't get a deal done. And one of the reasons why they're saying is because Showtime has to get a cut for some reason. I don't know, man. It's just, you know, it's tiresome. And it's pissing me off. I'm sitting there looking at these pictures with Sergey Kovalev with all these belts. And I'm thinking Adonis Stevenson just has one. And then Sergey Kovalev is walking around with this bootleg WBC title. T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.